So I think I finally correctly decoded this scene from the music video for the song You Right by Doja Cat. So this scene is right there at the beginning of the video. And so Doja Cat obviously symbolizes the scales, aka the Libra constellation. And she even has the Libra symbol, her hair in the shape of the Libra symbol. And this statue right here is the famous statue known as Venus de Milo. Okay, so that's giving you the hint about the planet Venus. So that means that the planet Venus is going to be in a celestial scene, if you will. And then the sun is right overhead. So all that gives you quite a bit of information already, but I've also always wondered what the heart here symbolizes, the heart that's being measured on the scale. And the key to solving that is when they zoom into it, which I'll show you here, I just have to fast forward, they show the heart beating. So what this beating heart is actually referring to is the planet Mercury, because there is a well-known chemical reaction known as mercury beating heart. It's a redox reaction when you mix the elements mercury, iron, and chromium. And it causes the mercury to oscillate as if it's beating like a heart. Here's an animation of it. Okay, so there you go. That is known as mercury beating heart, and that's how they show you in that video the planet Mercury. And if we just go back to the full scene, we can finally now combine all of these elements to see when this celestial scene in the sky occurs. So altogether, we've got the constellation of Libra with the sun overhead, the planet Mercury around the measuring plates of the scales, and the planet Venus in this scene. So if we take a look in Stellarium, I've got this set to, let's see, October 30th. I guess that's today. I'll just move it forward by a day. You can see here is constellation Libra with the sun overhead, planet Mercury at the level of the measuring plates of the scales, and then Venus right here below. So yeah, I don't know how long this scene holds together. I guess maybe you can argue that also on November 1st, the sky still matches what that scene shows, but yeah, not too much longer after that, because Mercury is a very fast moving planet, and very quickly it's going to move away from those measuring plates that are held by the scales. So yeah, I think this is a pretty remarkable match. So whatever that scene is warning about looks to be imminent, judging by that scene, because that is a very specific arrangement of the sun and those two planets around Libra. That's not going to happen again, I don't think, for a very long time. On top of that, there is another part in the video a little bit later where they show the Weeknd, and he obviously represents the constellation Aquarius here, because he's pouring out this jug of water. And the reason they identify him as Aquarius is so that they can show you the position of Saturn in Aquarius. And they do that a few seconds later in the video, where they show him with Doja Cat. Remember, he's representing the constellation of Aquarius, and she's got these massive hoop earrings on. Okay, so those hoop earrings are supposed to represent the rings of Saturn. So having them together like this is basically their way of showing you the planet Saturn in the constellation of Aquarius. And if you look in the sky on this same date here, October 31st or November 1st or whatever, if you look at the constellation of Aquarius, you can see that the planet Saturn is right there. It's actually smack dab right in the middle of that water that's being poured out of the jug. So yeah, it looks like the astrosymbolism of this music video is clearly pointing to right around now. I don't know if it's tomorrow or the next day or whatever, but it's imminent. And towards the end of this video, they show them just floating on a mattress in a flooded world. And they also show a lot of tsunami imagery earlier in the video. And this is actually similar to what they show at the end of Taylor Swift's Karma video, where they have Taylor Swift and Ice Spice paddling a canoe through a flooded world. And uncoincidentally, that video also starts with the same imagery. It has Taylor Swift posing here as the Libra constellation with the sun overhead. And the astrosymbolism of these two music videos is all the more remarkable considering that, as I showed in my previous video, the films Back to the Future, Donnie Darko, and Leave the World Behind are all also pointing to the Halloween time period. Now, there is something in that Doja Cat music video that might extend it a few days, because on her forehead, her hair is glued in the shape of what appears to be a moon phase, as you can see here. And she even sort of points it out by saying, "I try to hide it on my face." And at that moment when she says that, she glances up towards her forehead on the side where the moon phase is glued, for lack of a better word. So let me show you that real fast. Okay, so she says, I try to hide it on my face," right when she looks up into that corner. So this is the moon phase right here. And so obviously they're showing you the sliver moon that's right after the new moon, and the new moon happens on November 1st. So if we look in Stellarium real fast, here's the moon. And if you go, let's see, right now it's like 0.4% illuminated. Let me just zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little better. But if you go forward by a couple days, it starts to take on, it starts to resemble the shape of the hair on her forehead. Here it's like 6.3% illuminated. So that's around, I guess that moon phase that's depicted on her forehead would be beginning around like November 2nd and go through November 3rd, November 4th, where the sun is now, the moon is now entering Sagittarius. And I think by November 5th, it's probably a little too thick at this point. So yeah, maybe November 2nd through 4th could be when events happen based on that moon phase. But yeah, don't count on it. Could just happen already on Halloween. But I don't know. So, we'll find out.